Representative John Conyers will apparently retire from Congress amid sexual harassment allegations. Now, Mr. Conyers earlier today had called into a radio show to break the news. He said, "I am retiring today. I'm in the process of putting together my retirement plans. I will have more on that soon." So, hey man, that's clear. Like, he is stepping down. He's going to retire. He's not resigning, which I think is important to his argument, because he steadfastly refuses to doing any of these sexual harassment claims, but nonetheless, he is gone. Now, on that, he says he continued to deny that he has harassed any of his former employees and said he did not know where the allegations came from. And also added, "My legacy can't be compromised or diminished in any way by what we are going through now. This too shall pass. My legacy will continue through my children." So that, of course, is a reference to him naming his successor, John Conyers III. I don't generally like the idea of naming successors. Look, and it wouldn't care to me. Like, it doesn't, like, I wouldn't care if John Conyers III, right, whom he wants to take his place, is one of the most progressive congressmen in the world. No, I would like to have a fair election. So I'm hoping, I mean, that's what we're obviously going to have. So, okay. Now, the point of the statement is, look, he says he's not retiring because of the allegations, right? But because of his health. And look, he was doing this from a hospital. Now, the guy's 88 years old, so that's not too far off. He is the longest serving African American in Congress, and look, to be honest, he's a civil rights icon. That's why this hurts. Because I believe in the women. I believe in the allegations. I mean, for example, one of them claimed the congressman had violated her body, repeatedly propositioned her for sex, and asked her to touch his genitals. Other former staff members have since come forward to say that he harassed them or behaved inappropriately. And the disclosure of the accusations against Conyers began on November 20th when BuzzFeed reported that back in 2015 he had used $27,000 of taxpayer money to settle a wrongful dismissal complaint made by a female aide, Marion Brown, who said that she was fired for not giving in to his sexual advances. Well, already you use taxpayer money to use the settlement, to go for a settlement. That is unacceptable. Unacceptable. Several former aides, including his former deputy chief of staff, Deanna Marr, subsequently came forward to discuss Conyers' treatment of them, saying that he had demanded sexual favors or had touched them inappropriately. So again, we've got multiple witnesses on this, not multiple witnesses, sorry, multiple accusers on this, saying basically the same thing. He propositioned me for sex, he touched me inappropriately. We can't have that. We can't have that. Now, adding to the accusation, there was another Washington ethics lawyer named Melody Sloan, said that when she worked for Conyers 2 decades ago, he had discriminated against her because of her gender, publicly berating her, and at one point ordering her to babysit his child. That's pretty messed up. Conyers also called her to a meeting at which he showed up in a t-shirt and underwear. Again, all these allegations, we can't have that. We can't have that. Now, look, I know he has a long history of fighting for civil rights, and none of this diminishes his actual work. But I wish he had just fought as hard for the civil rights of women to not be sexually harassed in his personal life as he did for civil rights, period. Hey, civil rights are women's rights, and women's rights are human rights. Now, like I said, this hurts personally because, again, policy-wise, I love what John Conyers stood for. For example, he was one of the only people to put forward a Medicare for all bill. And look, I respected Conyers for that. And I will always respect his work towards civil rights. He is still a civil rights legend, and I respect that he fought for Medicare for all. But as a person, I am incredibly disappointed in him. Absolutely. So, look, and I think him stepping down definitely has something to do with the allegations, even though he doesn't admit it. And I think he's probably using his health as a cover. Okay. And maybe I'm wrong, but this just follows another in a string of politicians, both Democrats and Republicans, that have been accused of sexual harassment and assault. Again, you've got Al Franken on the Democratic side, who has now more accusers coming forward, and Roy Moore, who, strangely enough, is very likely to win his Senate seat. Moore and Franken, obviously their situations are far different, as well as Conyers. Franken is accused of inappropriate touching, while Moore attempted to rape a teenager and molest an underage girl. So that's a problem. In my opinion, Moore is far, far worse. Okay. That said, we can't abide this behavior in progressive spaces. Sexual harassment is not progressive. Abuse of power is obviously not progressive. So as much as it hurts, we've got to accept that not everybody in our movement is going to be a good person or is going to do good things. Sometimes they're going to do bad things, and we have to accept that. And look, we have to do what we can to listen to these women, encourage them to speak out, even if it ends up hurting our own. Not every accusation is, of course, is going to be true, and that goes without saying. We all know that. But we have to take all accusations seriously if we're really going to end up having a fair and honest and good progressive movement. We need women just as much, in this movement. Women of color, they are part of this movement, and we have to take them seriously. And we have to do what we can to make this movement as inclusive and progressive as possible. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.